Good morning, everybody. How are you? We have extra dogs again, but this time, we'll talk about it later, but this time we have my other grand dog, Scout, here. So our dogs, Penny, Lucy, and Maggie, are excited that he just came back downstairs to have some breakfast. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But good morning, everybody. I have to tell you, I know it is Thanksgiving week, but I made a joke earlier. I already feel like leftovers. I am going slow this morning. I woke up later than normal. Busy day yesterday. I was actually busy weekend. In fact, I didn't have a weekend. It was just, very busy. I'm very thankful and grateful to be busy. Had some wonderful, fantastic, lovely, nice clients in town. So we were pretty much busy every day last week, every day during the weekend. Still busy today. And then hopefully on a Wednesday, I can take some time off and make some of those Thanksgiving preparations, as we all do, to enjoy that with my family. So good morning, everybody. We are again kind of in the, I know it's Thanksgiving week, and I was going to do a Thanksgiving mug, but this one just matches so much better. So I just chose this one. The Making Spirits Bright. These are cute mugs. I think I got these a few years ago from Home Goods, and there's like all different ones. Some of them are red, and they have all these different little things on them. But they were great for like the hot cocoa, because we always do a hot cocoa bar. And these were like just really cute, and they were, different and the right size. Great for putting that little whipped cream on top of it. But anyway, so here's to you. Good morning coffee. But yeah, like full disclosure, I woke up at 8:04, and I was in the middle of a really weird dream, really, really, really weird dream. And I don't know. It's like one of those, I know it in my head, but there's no way my mouth will be able to describe to you what was happening in my dream. But anyway, so weird, because I usually cannot go back to sleep. Our routine is normally, and by the way, the reason I didn't wake up early is because our kids have off this whole week from school. So normally I would have my alarm set. I'd wake up my son Dawson. He'd be already off to school by now, but they're off Thanksgiving week, which by the way is a nice thing, because back home in Virginia, and probably in most places for school, you used to, at least when I was in school, you had like a half day on that Wednesday before Thanksgiving. But when we first moved here, again, we moved the week of Thanksgiving 8 years ago, I guess, at this point. And I was excited to know that the week that we were moving in, the kids didn't have school anyway. So that was kind of great. But anyway, so Eric had to wake up early to do some things here for coffee time, because candidly, he was also so incredibly busy editing the pool video, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So we're like, you know what, we're just going to have to streamline coffee time this morning, because we're just super tired. It honestly, there's just an incessant list of things that we need to do. And so I was like, oh, we'll just make this one easy. That's fine. It's not a problem. But he didn't. I know, honey, I was getting ready to give you credit. Look, he chimes in as though I'm not going to give him some, Anyway, but yeah, he did. He got up super early this morning to make sure that everything was set. So now we are going to have a full coffee time. But I usually can't fall back asleep. Like once I wake up, I really, really struggle, unless it's like 2 a.m. But if it's like, 6 o'clock, 6:30, if I somehow wake up, I have a really hard time falling back asleep. But this morning, apparently I did fall back asleep and had a weird dream, and then woke up at 8:04. And here we have leftovers. So I'm really sorry and apologetic for what you are visualizing at the moment. But we do have a fun conversation today. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of fun. There's my phone. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, there you are. Hey, it's you, Greg. So we'll talk about you in a minute, although I do have to read that at some point so I can see what you said. Anyway, so we have a nice show. We had a video that posted yesterday. We're going to talk about that. We've got kids in the house. But first, again, we talk about mugs. Here is my mug. It is the Making Spirits Bright. I picked it because it has the green and white, and it matches the background. I will tell you, I'm going to run out of mugs that are green and white and match this. So pretty soon we're going to go to full-fledged, like ho, 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 Christmas red. But anyway, all right, guys. So thank you guys for joining in. I bet you guys have a really busy week ahead as well. I'm sure that a lot of you are either traveling for Thanksgiving, or perhaps you are the one hosting Thanksgiving. So maybe you've got a whole slate of things that you need to do. I'm going to tell you that last night we had a message from someone on our community Facebook page that their church does every year. They gather Thanksgiving meals for families that are in need, and they still had 12 more families in the area. And so they were like, just do any of our neighbors, would you like to assist? So, of course, we're all chiming in. We live in a fantastic community. And I was like, hey, if you've still got people on your list, I'm happy to assist as well. So then I started thinking, I was like, okay, well, they have to have all of the food by a certain time. So again, thanks to this new technology, I say new, but it's been around for a while, but that you could order your groceries online. I was like, you know what? So late last night, I ordered all of the groceries because there's a few things I'm gonna have to go out and get in person, but the bulk of it for this lovely family of 6 that needs some assistance. So those, and I schedule them. They're not supposed to come during coffee time. It's supposed to be a window between 10 and 12. So, but here's the problem. We need a second refrigerator. So Eric is actually going to head out today. Do any of you have second refrigerators, like one out in your garage where you have the extra surplus or maybe an extra freezer? We had that in our former house and I got really used to it. And I love the refrigerator that we have, but it honestly doesn't have a lot of space. It's double doors this way. And then it's double doors on the bottom. I have to look at it to double check. Double doors on the bottom. And the bottom right one can be either freezer or refrigerator. And so we made that one additional refrigerator, but that's where we put all of the beverages. So all of that bottom right hand quarter of our refrigerator is just beverages. And honestly, this turkey, this 27-pound turkey that's thawing in my refrigerator right now is taking up the majority of the refrigerator. I'm like, there's literally no room to put anything. So after coffee time, Eric has a few errands, one of which is to go find us just a small, excuse me, a small refrigerator to put out in the garage. We do have a second small freezer out there. So anyway, so we've got a list of things to do. Certainly we still have clients we need to take care of and work that we need to accomplish. But at any rate, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, whether you are hosting or whether you are, traveling for that. If you are traveling, please have safe travels. So let's get going. Don't forget, if you have questions, it doesn't have to be about real estate. It could be about other stuff. That's what this time is for. Obviously, real estate is probably why you're talking to me right now or chatting with me. But feel free. It can be questions about other stuff as well, especially since we did the pool video. Some people may have an extra one. So, all right. So let me look and see. I'm gonna do a quick search for questions, and then we're gonna move on to kind of the what's brewing, just to see if there's anything did I do it again? I didn't. So there's no questions yet. Okay, cool. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go right on in then to what's brewing. Okay, and during that little transition, my daughter texted me and said we can use her refrigerator space. So I already figured that, Allie, but still trying not to inconvenience. All right, so here is what's brewing. Okay, first of all, the pool cost video. Again, so many of you, not so many of you that we adore all of you, but so many of you have already seen and have followed us for a while. And so you watched the video of us building this home that we're in now. Most of you also know we've also been doing a long-term video of our pool build process. The pool is now finally, I say it's finally ready, like it is finally ready. It's not like the pool company is like, peace out, see ya, because there are still some things that they need to do and bring and touch up or whatever, but nothing major. Like it's usable, although it's cold here. Not really cold, but colder. Yes. Oh, Eric wants me to push the button. Here's the pool today. So this is what it looks like this morning. So we have the hot tub. If you look over to the I guess the kind of the right side of it, you can see the hot tub. We finally have that black piece of granite. They have adjusted because if you remember, they accidentally made that spillover area 6 feet wide, and it was only supposed to be 4 feet. And of course they didn't notice that, or at least they didn't address it until toward the end of the process. So that's been kind of an oopsie that we've been trying to fix. They fixed it. They moved it in 4 feet. They added the granite. Now we have a beautiful little spill over there. We have the bubbler on in the sun shelf, which is to the right, that little piece of bubbling up over there. You can see, I think the waterfall is on, and we also to the left, not only do we have the sheer waterfall right there, but if you look above the sheer waterfall, you're going to see what Eric and Amy have been waiting on. This is, I think, probably our present to ourselves. We did the glider rockers that matches. And by the way, if you look over to the right, you can see we have most of our furniture. We just don't have the tables. The only table that came in is that little one that's sitting between blah, 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 between the two glider rockers there on what we call Sunset Rock. But those are glider rockers, and it is absolutely just so awesome to just sit there and just rocky rock, as my grandmom used to say, my mom used to say.
The pool company also removed the frog.
Oh, we did. Did we tell them about that?
No, we didn't.
Oh my gosh, we didn't tell you about this. Okay, so hold on. Let me go back. Let me go back here because this is a real story. All right. So the other day, we were the pool company still needed to come back out. There were still a couple things they needed to do. Well, right beside Sunset Rock, down in the pool, there's like a bench, because you have to have it for safety purposes. You have to have a secondary way to get out of the deep end. So you either have to have a ladder with like an arm rail or a handrail, or you have to have another like a seat, a bench. So we did the bench. Right beside that is a little circle that is, I guess, where it blows the water into the pool, right? So it's not the return where it's sucking in and it's blowing it out. Well, the other day I looked down and there's something sticking out of that hole. Like I didn't take a picture because you would not want me to show you what this picture looked like. It would not be good. I'd get all sorts of nasty comments. But there was something sticking out of the hole, like being shoved through it. And I thought it was a bird. And I mean, by the way, there's water in the pool, so we're like kind of like nauseous, right?
Being pushed out of the...
Yeah, it's being forcefully pushed out of the thing. I mean, obviously it was not alive, which is also sad. But there was something, and I could see one eye, and I could see what I thought was a beak, which is why it's why I thought it was a bird. And of course, once I looked at it and I realized, first of all, it's not a rag, because that was my first thought, was that it was a rag. And then as I got closer and I saw an eye, I was like, that is not a rag. And then I got closer, and I was like, okay, that's just, we got to get that out of here. And we're not doing it because it would require unscrewing the little whatever and then pulling it out. We, again, want the pool company to do it so that we don't mess anything up. Anyway, they did come out and they removed it. And guess what? It was a frog. It was a frog. So you know I hate frogs. And so that's what it was. God bless the poor little frog. I mean, just because I don't like them doesn't mean I want them to be shoved through this tube and out through the pool. But apparently that does happen sometimes. So that was kind of gross. But anyway, back to the pool. Let's look at the picture of the pool again. So actually, it's right over there. If you see that big turtle on Sunset Rock, it was kind of down underneath the rocks over there. Ugh. Anyway, but it's gone now. The pool company came out and saved the day and moved it for us. But anyway, so let's talk about the actual, here it is. So the pool cost video. So if you did not, where is that? Here it is. If you didn't notice, yesterday, now on Wednesday night when we did Poolside Live, we did talk about, our aim was to try to get that done either for Thursday, maybe Friday, but honestly, we just did not have the time. We had a lot of stuff still going on. There was stuff going on in the backyard, which meant we couldn't film. I had clients that I needed to be with, and that's the priority. We have to do work with our clients before we do, the other things, but it still needed to be done. Then we had like a nasty rainy day. It was like, just seriously, everything that could go wrong. It was almost like that series of unfortunate events. Every time we would try to record, our neighbors were getting the exterior stucco cracks painted over. And so the ladder was going clank, 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 clank. And so we had to stop. And then as soon as we'd stop and get quiet there, then a big truck would go by or an airplane would go. I mean, it was like craziness. But at any rate, we did it, guys. And Eric worked just tirelessly. I told you it's leftovers today. Mouth is also a leftover. To put together a really nice, very transparent, almost embarrassingly so, transparent video of what it cost to build our pool, not so that we can tell you what it costs to build our pool, but because there are so few videos out there with that full transparency. And part of it is because what is ours is not going to be yours. Our situation, our experience, our company, thank you, dear, is not going to be the same. So any of our numbers, if we tell you what it costs to purchase our pool pump, that doesn't mean that that's what yours is going to cost. So we want to make sure that we are transparent and we put that disclaimer out there so that, put the disclaimer out there so that that we know. You can't go to your pool company and say, well, Kidwell said that it costs this. Okay, yours may cost more, yours may cost less. This is just what it cost us, and we're just sharing those numbers.
Good luck making it cost more. Yikes. That's a question. He didn't put a Q on that.
Yeah, we do have a question here.
And also, Marshall is from the Netherlands, and I went to the Winter Garden farmer's market on Saturday based on a recommendation from her.
Oh, nice. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. Okay, hold on. So here we go. So Marshall, is it a need to have your pool screened? As we see so many pools with screens built in your region, it seems less visual. Yes. So here's the thing. We are going to screen ours in. Now, I love the fact that it is open, Lucy, that it is open and, you know, out, and it's just beautiful, glorious nature and wind and breeze and everything. But in order to truly utilize that outdoor pool space anytime you want, we do have bugs here, and you're not going to be able to enjoy it. Now, not everyone does have them screened in. I've sold lots of homes, and I've had lots of clients that have built them and did not screen them in. That's totally fine. It really is a personal preference. But for me, as we just talked about, I am not a big fan of frogs. The little lizards are going to get everywhere, the little geckos. They're going to get everywhere anyway. And even at night when we sit out there, now sometimes we take out the little tiki torch to kind of keep away, or the little mosquito, repellent, because there are bugs, and it gets buggy. And if you want to sit out there and enjoy it, the screen really is you really kind of need to do that. And the nice thing with having it screened is that then we can open up our sliders, our sliding doors all the way open, and then that pool area becomes additional space that we can maneuver in and out of. And we don't have to worry about, extra critters necessarily coming in. I mean, it doesn't mean that your lanai and your pool area is going to be completely bug free forever. Of course, spiders are still going to get in there, and you're still going to have some bugs, but it certainly reduces it substantially. So, but yeah, we are definitely going to screen that in. We're just waiting for that to be installed. They've already measured. Literally, we're just waiting on that. But we did abide by the county safety guidelines to make sure that our pool passed its final inspection, safety codes included, so that we would have the ability to go ahead and utilize our pool until such time as the screen is available. Aluminum is an issue right now. So anyway, okay, so we talked about the pool, right? Did I get all of it? We talked about the pool cost video. So yeah, so if you haven't already watched that, honestly, it's getting ridiculous number of views compared to some of our normal ones. So I think it is a very, very appealing video. Even if you're not interested in necessarily purchasing a home, maybe just about the pool. So hopefully that video is going to be super helpful to everybody. And if nothing else, it's informative about the actual steps of how a pool is constructed. And again, that's going to be different. We saw a video the other day of like the preformed pool that they just like stick in the ground. Well, that's not what we have at all. So again, this is just our video for how it worked to build ours. So we hope you enjoy that. All right, moving on. Home for the holidays. So home for the holidays, and you'll notice the next one is homes for the holidays. So home for the holidays, we have a couple of things. The first thing is, so our oldest son, Forrest, the one who purchased his home in Virginia not too terribly long ago, hosted his first Friendsgiving just the other day. I believe it was Friday night. So this is just a couple of snapshots. A couple of things of interest. By the way, he had a house full, which we love. It makes our hearts so happy. That was one of the things that I know he was most excited about, moving back to Virginia, to be a part of a friends group again. Again, we grew up in Virginia. He grew up in Virginia. He went to the University of Virginia, University of Virginia strong at the moment. I'm gonna cry again. But a lot of his friends that he went to college with are in and around that same area. So the ability and some of them live right down the street, which is doubly fantastic. But yeah, so he was able to host Friendsgiving. I do want to give a shout out to the flooring, because that is Eric's handiwork. Eric went back, as you might recall, he did a couple of trips to go see him. We replaced we did a lot when he moved in. We repainted everything, but then Eric replaced all the flooring and the baseboards. So that is new flooring in there. So he was able to share that. By the way, the turkey picture was Forrest's first attempt at cooking a turkey, and I think it came out beautifully, and there were rave reviews. Coincidentally, and this is where sometimes life crazy scheduling works out in your favor. So my daughter and son-in-law, my daughter was in a wedding from her college roommate the venue was not too far from where Forrest lives. So my daughter and son-in-law traveled to Virginia. They were there for a few days, and my daughter obviously stayed at the venue as part of the wedding party, and the bridesmaids all kind of roomed together. But my son-in-law ended up staying with Forrest, so he was there for Friendsgiving, and his verdict, and he is quite the foodie, says that that turkey was the most amazing thing, and it melted in your mouth. He literally texted me that, and I'm like, well, now I hope my turkey doesn't like taste bad because I'm gonna have to compete with my son who cooked it the first time apparently perfectly. Anyway, and then take a look at Scout, our boy. So that is Scout. He is in his, I love it. He's in his little Thanksgiving bandana. Best dog ever. He's a rescue. Forrest's best friend. And I tell you what, I love that dog with all my heart. And he is here with us too. So that's kind of part of the home for the holidays. He is now here. They did travel. They arrived super late last night. They all drove back together. Again, the timing worked out perfectly. After the wedding was over, my daughter and son-in-law stayed with Forrest. And then yesterday morning, they popped in the car and they made a long journey from Virginia here. They got here and now we are going to spend Thanksgiving together. Now I just need to get my college daughter home and then I can do that motherly exhale and it can officially begin. But we're getting there, my friends. And so the other thing is the final piece of our What's Brewing today is the homes for the holidays. So again, if you have been with us for a while, we have pretty much every year we have done homes for the holidays. One year, Eric got this bright idea to do 24 videos every day in Christmas leading up to Christmas Eve. 24 new construction. I believe they were all new construction. We may have had a random video in there of upcoming communities or something, but 24 videos consecutively, 24 days in December, and that was absolutely exhausting, and I did not enjoy my holiday season at all. So this year, I think last year, one of the years we did like 12 days of Christmas, and then last year, our homes for the holidays was ours, because as you recall, we were moving in to our home like the day before Thanksgiving, and so our goal was to be in our home for the holidays. It was a little bit of a race. And in fact, my son, who was in Texas at the time, the one that's now in Virginia, he actually did not come for Thanksgiving and had his own little Thanksgiving at his house by himself with his dog Scout because he would have to turn around and go right back. It was a little bit cuckoo crazy. So we were very excited. But anyway, so for this Homes for the Holidays, we're asking you, what would you like to see? More model homes, more upcoming communities. Like, tell us, we can do a whole hodgepodge. We're not doing 24, so get that off your mind right now. We are not doing 24. But what is it that you would like to see? We are going to head out to a community. They have several different models there, so that is definitely going to be on our radar. But it's also nice to see what it is that you guys enjoy most when it comes to these videos, because we kind of have at this point a plethora of them. We have our Sunday drives. We have these, our coffee times. Oh, by the way, coffee. I need another sip. Coffee times, and we and then of course we have the home tours, and sometimes those home tours are also inventories. A lot of times they're my resales, my listings, and things like that. So let us know. Put that in the comments as well, and let us know. Okay, so quick double check for questions, and then we are going to move on. Make sure. Oh wait, I'm doing it again, Eric. I was doing it again. I was getting ready to put it in the comments. I will learn. I will learn, my friends. Be patient. I'm old. Kim, you know what, my friend? I'm going to be completely honest. To me, yes. It is. It's just hard. I don't care if it's freezing cold weather, but I definitely don't want it to be super warm. Now, some people love that, but even in Virginia, where honestly, I think the weather is most glorious in Virginia. I say that all the time, not that I don't love Florida, but Virginia really does give you 4 complete beautiful seasons. Like every season, you're not going to get massive snowfall like they have in Buffalo, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But you do every once in a while get the snow flurries, which is fun. You may get a little bit of a dusting. You may get a little bit of full coverage, but it's definitely got some cold days in there. You have those beautiful falls where it's just crisp and you can wear the light jackets. And it's just really, really beautiful. So that is what I miss when I think of Christmas time. I'm not used to people up north where you're really hunkered in and you're kind of stuck in your house because you have all of the snow and you have to dig out from it, or log cabins and fireplaces. I didn't grow up with that, so I'm not used to that, but I would certainly like it to be a little bit more crisp. And it wouldn't hurt my feelings to have, some actual little flurries, but that's just not going to happen. So my answer is yes. I mean, you can put lights on a palm tree. but it's not the same thing as driving around in other areas where you can see the beautiful decorations. So again, I love it here, but it is a little bit different, to be quite honest. All right, so Greg, you are super important. Okay, I have to do something real quick. In a previous video, you mentioned that for resale purposes only, expect about 50% recovery on the cost of building a pool. Now knowing the total cost, would that still be the case? Yeah, I do, but we also added a lot of other things. So and so what Greg is referencing is that we talk a lot about when you build a pool, when you add some of those extras in your home, realize that you can't say, oh, I spent, $100,000 on solar panels and expect to be able to get $100,000 increased price in your home. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way with a pool. And again, that's just an average number. That's what an actual appraiser told me once. So I'm going off of what the experts have told me, but again, doesn't mean that it's a flat out, oh, you have a pool, you're going to get 50% of what you put into it, because candidly, they probably don't know what you put into it. But you are not, we're not going to get the same value out of it as to what we put in it. But for us, the value is us being able to sit on Sunset Rock in those glider rockers and every night walking out there going, oh my gosh, like, look at what we have in our backyard. And we're just like kids on Christmas morning, where we're like, can you believe, like, we have this, we did this, look at how it looks. It's like it's our own little piece of Disney magic oasis in our backyard. And we're like, it feels like a little resort to us. And that's what we wanted. So you can't put a price tag on the emotional joy that something gives you. Would we do it the same way? Yeah. I don't think, like we said in the video, I don't think there's anything that we would have eliminated at all, because I really, really, really love the way it came out. There's two things I might have done differently had I known exactly what it was going to look like on the ground. The first is that I might have made the sun shelf a little bit bigger, although it is plenty big. I can put a chaise lounge recliner on that sun shelf and a table with an umbrella and be fine. The only reason I need the sun shelf is that one day I want to sit there with my grandbabies and splash in the water. That's what I want my sun shelf for. So I'm not upset about it. It is not too small by any stretch of the imagination. But I do like that, and I have a feeling that's going to be a really big spot for me. So if I had made that a little bit bigger, that would have been good. And then the other thing is that I might have made sure that the deep end was pushed a little bit further away from the home. And that's a mommy thing. That's nothing that's abnormal. Most homes have it just like that. But, in my brain, I'm like, oh, it's the deep end. It's like, I wish I could have had the whole shallow end face the front of the house and the deep end face away from the house. But that's just because you think about, when you walk outside, that the deep end is right there. But not a problem. But anyway, yeah, so I would still do it again. And I know that we're not going to get the full value of what we put into it, but we did add landscaping, and things like that are going to give you some value. Again, not the exact, 100% of it, but definitely the dual trunk foxtails that we added, all of the yard space that we have, all of that I think definitely is going to give us some. But I don't plan on selling the home anytime soon. So anyway, that's a great question. And Greg, by the way, I really do need to read the text that you texted me back. So everyone, hang on a second here. Where's my button, Eric, where it says be right back? Hold on. There's no music playing, but that's okay. That's all right. Okay, cool. I don't know. Am I back? I don't think it went anywhere. Anyway, I was reading Greg's text. So, because I needed to, because I texted him prior to this. So I did want to follow up on the situation that I told you about, both on our Sunday drive, and we talked about it last Monday on Coffee Time, about a situation where there was an accident, not like a tragic accident. But there was an issue with a house that was just getting ready to close at the tail end. The finish line, friends, was right there. And there was an issue. There was some water. They had to replace some drywall. They had to replace some carpeting and some baseboards and some kitchen cabinets. And this was, again, right before closing on a new construction home. And, could not happen to nicer people. They are so sweet, kind, and understanding. I think their attitude and their approach to it, and my approach to the builder as their representative, as their realtor, worked well. So we wanted to follow up with you. We did not mention the name of the builder. I'm happy to mention it now if you'd like to know. But the main thing is how the builder recovered. So if you recall, we asked for three things. We asked for we asked for some assistance because the delay in closing, even though it was not tremendous, it was a couple weeks or 10 days or something, that that they have assistance with the rate lock because they were going to have to extend the rate lock again. And they'd already extended it twice and they'd already paid, a nice chunk, like $6,000 or so. So we were hoping that the builder could give us some assistance because, again, this is not the fault of my clients. They were already provided a closing date. So that was on our side. The second thing we asked for was that if the buyers chose to have an outside third-party inspection, simply because they just wanted that secondary peace of mind that someone else looked at the home, someone else did that moisture reading and made sure that everything was, looked good and that just their heart could be happy with that. And the third thing was that at this point they were going to be displaced for a period of time because candidly, they were given the closing date. They had already on their own arranged some places to stay and to spend the holidays with some people, but there was going to be a period of time that they were going to need to find a hotel or something to stay in. And we asked for some assistance with the builder for that. So happy to say that the builder did provide them an additional incentive or credit that was going to cover the rate lock as well as their housing. And we are good to go. It literally, so they didn't pay for it separately. They just said, here's a chunk of money. We're going to give you this. And I did ask my clients before opening my big mouth here, were they comfortable with that? Were they satisfied? Candidly, I'm satisfied, but it's not my house. It's not my money. It's not my inconvenience. So I wanted to make sure that they were okay with it, and they are okay with that. They're happy. That has satisfied some of the financial inconvenience that they are now being involved in. So Land Sea Homes, congratulations on incredible service recovery, customer service, generosity and assisting. And I will tell you, the builder felt terrible from the beginning. We had zero pushback. We had zero doubt they were going to come in strong, but it is always nice to give a happy ending to that story. Yes, sir.
Gary is on, so shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary.
No, because his offer.
Oh, yeah, no, I was looking at my questions. I was like, I don't see Gary's question. Yes. Oh, I have to tell you that too. I absolutely have to tell you that too. So after last week's, boy, we thought this was going to be a short coffee time, and I'm just rambling. So last week, yes, this literally, Gary, you know who you are. Where are you? Because I have to, I'll remove my thingies here. So last week, right after I talked about that story about my clients, they're going to be displaced, blah, blah, blah. One of my former clients already closed on his home, still follows us. Hey, Gary, pays attention, chimes in, texts me right after our coffee time and said, you know what? They're happy to come stay in my house. I'm going to be traveling during that time frame. It'd be fantastic if they just want to come, and they are welcome to stay at my house. That, my friends, is love and kindness and part of the Heart and Home Orlando family. So seriously, that, wow, like mind blown. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So in this particular case, it didn't work out only because, first of all, there was a geographical location. It was a little bit further from where they would be moving. But at any rate, the fact that the genuine generosity was there is part of why I love doing what I do. And I really feel like what we do is slightly different than most real estate endeavors out there, because in my heart of hearts, I do feel like we are a family, and that is a perfect example of it. Okay, so now I digress. Let me get back to where we were. So here's where we are when we talk about homes for the holidays. Let me share this picture with you. What about that? What about Buffalo, New York right now, guys? You are, oh my gosh, the snowfall, like look at that. So when we were talking earlier, I mean, God bless you. I don't know if I could, that's not what I would want to endure. When I said snowflakes or a dusting, I meant snowflakes or a dusting. I did not mean something like that. So I know they're used to it. This is part of why people love living where they do. I mean, first of all, I will say it's beautiful. I mean, isn't that beautiful? And it almost, that type of snow, oh, look at the dog trying to go potty. That almost gives you permission to just hunker down and stay put and enjoy your family. But, you know, that's a little bit extreme. And that is why we have a lot of people saying, you know, why don't we move to Florida? Because this is our forecast. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We have 76, 78 degrees, 70 degrees. Really beautiful weather, all things considered. And that is one of the reasons people like to move here. So your choice, you can have this or you can have this. Let's do that again one more time. You can have that. By the way, I wouldn't mind that. Like that picture's so beautiful. I don't know that I've won myself over to the other. But look, their pool is closed. Our pool is open. Yeah, that's a better picture. Do you want this? Or do you want this? So anyway, again, this is, in all honesty, I mean, I've been doing this long enough that it is very cyclical. This is when we start getting those phone calls, because usually that first snowfall is not quite this early, I don't believe. But at any rate, this is when people are like, that's it, I'm done. The last snowfall, I'm tired of shoveling snow. And then they get on the phone or they get on the internet and they start looking. So come on down, come on down. We've got places for you. Lots of new beautiful communities popping up all over the place. Lots of beautiful resale homes around here. And the weather here is consistently gorgeous. Only a couple of days of nastiness. Speaking of nastiness, yesterday was not groovy. Yesterday it was pretty chilly and rainy, and I was out with clients and their whole family. I think there was like 7 of them. We were out touring some new construction as well as like 6 resale homes in the rain. It was not pleasant, but they were pleasant and I love them. But it was not the best day to be out showing houses. Anyway, all right, so let's move on. Let's see. Were there any other questions? Because I didn't.
There are actually. Well, go here because you didn't put a Q. Go back. Undo the Q.
Undo the Q. Eric's directing.
Go down.
Go down. Yes,
Our
sir.
friend Marshall from the Netherlands asked another question. Go down.
Okay. Oh, there it is. This one?
No, down more.
Down more?
Sorry, everyone.
All right. This is Eric trying.
Well,
there he is. I see it.
Q, so. And then you should go back to solo.
I already did that one.
No. Oh, keep going down then. It's about. There it is.
There it is. Okay. Would you stop trying to produce over my shoulder?
Well,
I know my buttons now. I did it now. Okay. Combination homes and communities. We're really looking forward every Sunday. Oh, I was like, combination. I got you. So for our homes for the holidays, combination of homes and communities. We're really looking forward every Sunday drive, both of you in the car.
He has lots of comments.
Lots of them. Okay, so that's not the one. In
there it
is.
There it is.
Okay, we're going to get you. You are just the star of our show today. In the Netherlands, by the way, the Netherlands... Oh, I have to travel.
But they're here right now.
Yes, you are. You're here right now. So, hey, in the Netherlands, when we build our new Doppel farmhouse, we were obligated to invest in a minimum of solar panels. It seems that we see an increasing solar panels in Florida is expensive here. So here's the thing. For a while, and some builders are still doing it. They have it as an option. But for a while, Meritage Homes, they're not doing it standard anymore. But there was a period of time when, like, Meritage, one of the big builders out here, was doing a number of solar panels that were standard included when you purchased your home. And then, of course, from there, you could increase your package and increase those solar panels. We still have a lot of homes. When you drive through our neighborhood, there are a lot of homes that have the solar panels. It is something that we have considered as well. I'm just not 100% sure if we're going to do it. We might, I don't know, but we were not required to. And I see kind of what your point is that you were obligated to invest in a minimum number of them. And, candidly, there's a lot of commonsensical / political aspects to what we can do that is to the betterment of all of us. But we are not, by code, by county, by state, by government, required here to have any minimum number of solar panels. But I will tell you, it is definitely very popular. And there is, just because solar panels, it is definitely a positive thing. There is a whole Disney solar panel field, which we've driven by probably many times in our Sunday Drive videos that we do, where we've referenced those before, and how Disney is really stepping up, trying to work on making sure that they are efficient in their energy usage. And there's some really large solar panel fields kind of off of 429 out in that Horizon West area where you can kind of see them. So we're not required to, but I kind of sometimes I feel like maybe we should. But that's interesting though. Okay, so let me do another. Go up here, see if I can do that. Okay, so I answered that one. Rob, I think, whoops, I don't know why this covers up for me. Okay, I think new Florida homes look a lot better and more open than the Virginia homes. What do you think? So yes, Rob, I agree. I do agree. Now, I don't know what necessarily some of the new construction homes in Virginia are looking like lately. When my son was moving there, we did try to find some new construction communities, but he was purchasing at the time when it was, again, the cuckoo feeding frenzy, which was happening everywhere, including where he was looking to move in Virginia. There wasn't an abundance of new construction like there is here. So we didn't have as many options. And so the options that there were snatched up pretty quickly. But I was kind of interested to see what the vibe is. Because, for instance, the new construction home that he had purchased in Texas a few years prior, it was new construction. And it is very interesting to see the architectural differences because his house was very Texas. And in Texas, well, at least in this community, they fenced in his backyard. So he had this big, beautiful backyard with a wooden fence that came with the home. Like he didn't pay for that after the fact. It was part of the process there, which was really, really cool and definitely different, not here standard at all. But I would imagine that most new construction is going to have a more open floor plan on the interior, just because that's kind of trend wise where we've all been going. That's how the family unit operates now. It's a little bit different. We've talked before about, most, like my grandmom's house, there was a formal living room and there was a formal dining room, but they didn't really have like the family room, like the den, like the big, space where we all would watch TV together. But for the formal living room, that's where she would have bridge club. She would have Bible study. That's where she would have all the baby showers and bridal showers. It was the formal room, right? And then right off of it was the formal dining room with the gorgeous chandelier. And we used that at the holiday get-togethers, but not for our everyday meals. And but we don't really live like that anymore. Most, our family unit has changed. We are all very busy. And by the way, I'm not saying this is for the better. I kind of wish we could just all take a step back and have a siesta every day. But we just live differently, and the homes have to function for us differently. And so, the house, like I said, the house that I'm in, this room that I'm in is supposed to be a dining room, but I've made it my office because we've got a huge area over there to seat. I've got 6 chairs at the island, and I could put 2 more if I really wanted to. And there's 8 chairs at the table. I just don't need a third place to sit. I don't even really like to eat. So we didn't need that space. So a lot of these homes now are changing the interior, and they're making them more open on the inside. The one thing that is always going to be different is the outside exterior elevation, and that aspect, which we're going to talk about when we do our Zillow home. That's going to be a perfect segue. Thank you for that question, Rob. But I will say Virginia homes still look like Virginia homes to me. But that's more about the exterior aspect of it, so more so than what the insides look like. But that's a good question. I like that one. All right, where are we? I will in just a second. I'm gonna do Sydney's real quick because Sydney is so loyal. She is like constantly. We love you, Sydney. What about what you tried to do on your last Sunday drive, looking at decorated homes, but at night? Oh, that's a good idea.
We'll do that.
Absolutely, that's a great one. We will take that question. So that wasn't necessarily a question, but it was a good one.
Yeah.
It was a good help. Thank you. We'll do that. Add that to your list. Okay, you want me to go to the next one?
Zillow, yeah.
All right, he wants me to do Zillow. So I'm going to do Zillow so I can stop talking. Hold on. Zillow. Here we go. Here is Zillow. So this will go back to Rob's question a second ago. Okay, so this one is in Wayne, Illinois. So this is a perfect example of, the home, I don't know what year the home was built, but do you know what year it was built, Eric? He's watching soccer. Eric, I am talking to you. Do you know what year that home was built?
54.
Okay, 1954. All right, so 1.25 million. So here's the thing. This, in my opinion, this is not a kooky, crazy, weird, funny, extravagant home. This is really nice. I really, really like this. I think the interior is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. This is absolutely, first of all, I'll never be able to afford like a second home, especially one that's 1.25 million, never going to happen. But this, oh my gosh, like this would be a nice place if it was a nice cold snowfall, this would be a great place to go, spend some time. 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, a little over 4,000 square feet, 4,153 square feet. Hey, Penny, you joining us? Okay, Penny's here. But that's actually a really beautiful home. But if you look, Rob and friends, if you look at the exterior, kind of the architecture of the home, see, look at that. It's long and it's flat roof. So it definitely gives you that mid-century kind of vibe. But look at that. Look at that aerial shot with it just nestled in. Oh my gosh, my heart. That is really beautiful. So I will say, not a big fan of the exterior. I don't like the long flat. I don't like the way it looks, but I love the interior, and I think it must be absolutely gorgeous on the inside. But that is typical of the architecture during that time. So that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that is where, kind of back to Rob's point, our mind starts to change as times change and as our geographical location changes, what we're visually used to seeing and what feels like a home to us and what feels right and comfortable and appealing. But that's actually really nice. I do like that one. So that one was not cuckoo or crazy. So why don't we all pool our money? We can all buy it together and then we'll do our own timeshare. Good? Is that a good idea? Eric doesn't like that idea. Okay. Anyway, all right. So let's also do, because I have other things I want to talk about, but let's get to what I'm watching. If I can find it, there it is. Here's what I'm watching. So currently I am watching 1899. Now I'm only on episode 2, so the jury's out on what I think. It looked interesting and appealing to me. I also like period pieces sometimes. And so I thought this would be a fun watch. I've been into the limited series lately. I always like series. I've said before, I like them with multiple seasons so I can just watch it forever and ever and ever. I've watched so many of those. So now I've been kind of gravitating to those that are Netflix limited series, not limited to Netflix, but all right, full honesty, I don't really know how to use all the buttons on the remote to get to Hulu and all those other things. Stop laughing at me. Eric had to heat up my coffee because it got cold. Boy. Coffee boy. You're not my coffee boy. You're my coffee man. Okay. Anyway, goes over here. Okay. But yeah, so this is a limited series. Now I did watch one called 7 Seconds, and that one I completed. I think it was maybe 10 episodes. That one, wow, it was, it's another one of those that kind of kept coming up as a recommended, and I just kept pushing it aside, kept pushing it aside, and then finally I was like, okay, peer pressure, fine, I'll watch it. Absolutely amazing. I definitely think that is a must watch. If you are looking for something, again, my taste is so diverse. I will watch pretty much anything, except I don't really like a lot of like gun stuff, but
Hulu has the new series on the invention of Chippendales.
Oh, did you hear that? Eric just said that Hulu has a new series on the beginning of Chippendales. I'm sure I should probably do that just for creative research.
Yes.
Right. Absolutely.
But it's the 70s, so they're all like hairy.
Oh, gross. No, never mind. Okay. Anyway. All right. So I digress. Anyway, so I'm watching 1899. I'm only on episode 2. I haven't even gotten through episode 2 yet because I watch things in bits and pieces. Sometimes I can get a whole episode in. Rarely do I get more than one episode in, but I'm only on episode 2. So if you watched it, let me know what you think. If you haven't watched 7 Seconds and you're looking for something to watch, put that on your list. It's not the uplifting one for the holidays. So if you're looking for only things that are going to make you happy, do that one later when you want to wallow. But it is a really good one. And oh my gosh, the actress is freaking amazing. Anyway, all right. So there's that. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the other ones. There's something you want me to talk about? You want me to go to questions? All right. I'm going to go to questions real fast. Make sure I haven't missed any of these because some of these. So, Ron, do you know if there are any plans to connect Sawgrass Bay Boulevard to Fleming's Road? Sawgrass, yes, so it is. Oh.
And our traffic engineer son-in-law saw that question come up, and he confirmed January 1st, 2026.
Ooh, wow, really?
Well, that's a long way, yeah.
I know. January 1st, 2026. So yes, there's always been a plan there. Sawgrass Bay Boulevard, we've referenced it in lots of videos. That's always the plan, is that Sawgrass Bay Boulevard is going to connect to Fleming's Road, which is going to take you right in front of Encore Innovation, which is the MI Homes community, and directly down Western Way to get you to Disney. Hot, easy, like massive improvement. However, it has taken a while. It is taking a while. And apparently, so our son our son-in-law, he is still, I call him my son, but not my birth son, but my son-in-law is a traffic engineer, and he actually saw the question, and so he chimed in, sent us a text message, and says the latest is that it is January 1st of 2026. So that's still a while, but at least we know it's coming. All right, Lisa, could you do a series of homes for 500 and under? Yes. So Lisa, very good question. Hey, honey.
Yeah.
We just got a notification from Publix that our order's on its way.
Okay, that's fine.
So you might want to open up the garage door.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, real life here.
Share Willow with Lisa.
Yeah, I will. So Lisa, so we had I had some clients in that I was with yesterday, and they definitely are under 500. They wanted to be closer to the 400 mark. Definitely difficult to, well, it's not difficult to find. It just depends on where you're looking. That's the reality. As we say all the time, it's location, location, location. So if you want to be out far more rural areas, then absolutely, the homes are not going to be as expensive there for a reason. And that reason that they're not as expensive could be the exact reason that you want to live there, right? That it's further out, it's more rural, it's, I won't say isolated, that's not really a great word to use, but it's a little bit more, kind of off the beaten path. And some people love that. You can get more land. You may get a smaller house, or maybe you get more square footage. But yes, there are opportunities for under 500. And by the way, it has not escaped me that I just said $500,000. Let's say that together. $500,000 that there's not that much. Well, there is. It just depends on the area that you're looking in. So yes, so I will definitely see if we can find you some of those communities that are basically new construction that you can still get in under 500. And I'll tell you a couple right now. Kagan Crossing with Meritage Homes. You've also got Sanctuary with KB Home, and those are in Claremont. And really, there are quite a few, but we just have to kind of keep scooting out. So I like that. We're going to take that note down for our homes for the holiday series. So thank you for that one for sure. All right, let's see. Daniel and Erica. Hi. How far from Orlando area do you work? We are 3+ years out from the first kid in college. We want to buy a townhome or condo at that time. So Gainesville, it's not too far. I would probably refer you to an agent there that I know that works specifically in that area. But I actually am licensed in the whole state of Florida. So I can sell you anything. And as I've said before, I've sold vacant land out in the Everglades. I've sold out in Jacksonville, and I mean, pretty much all over. It's just the area that I have my feet on the ground in. That is more the Central Florida, the Orlando and surrounding areas. Gainesville is not too far, but I could absolutely assist you in making sure that we connect you to the right person. If or Daniel and Erica, or we just get to have a friend's, day trip, and we just go and we explore together. Let's just do that. Okay. Let's move. And then, yes, I got that for you to represent. No, I can represent you anywhere in Florida. Absolutely not a problem. And by the way, like I said, I have done that. I had some clients that were looking to purchase a home. They fell in love with a floor plan here. Then they found out that their son was going to be going to college up in Jacksonville or further in that area. So they decided that, okay, can you find us this floor plan there? And I did. So not a problem. So I was able to get them the same home that they wanted in a different area, and I was still able to represent them. So yes, the answer to that question is absolutely 100% yes. Okay. Ben, hey Ben, what's your thoughts on Iger replacing Chapek holding? Okay, good. So I actually have my note right here. So replacing Chapek, new Disney CEO, just heard about it. He certainly has a good track record, but we will see. So that's my note. Is that good?
Yeah. That's what I think.
That's what we think. We'll just have to good track record, but obviously it just happened, so we'll have to kind of see how that plays out. But I think it's a good too. Hello, my friend. Do HOAs usually allow for outside storage since space is so limited because you can't store in the attic? So first of all, I have to text you because I didn't respond to your text that you sent me the other day about that other thing. And I have to respond to you because you've been in my head so much lately. Okay, but let's answer your question. Do HOAs usually allow for outside storage? Okay, so the answer is no. I'm sorry. I know. So people are used to, as were we in Virginia, that you could have an outdoor shed, right? You could have a shed to store your lawn equipment, your lawn mower, extra paint, outside like pool toys that you only use during that time of year, just extra outdoor storage. We do not have basements, generally speaking. There are a few random basements in Florida, but most are not because of the water table, excuse me. We don't, well, we may have attic, but we are not really supposed to use our attic space. And there was certainly not an abundance of it like it was at my grandmom's house. Like the whole length of the home was a full attic where you could walk up and down. I'd play in there and open up all the boxes and stuff. So that's not what we have, unfortunately. So yeah, so your question is, because we may have limited storage, what do we do with all that stuff? So that's a very good question. The HOAs, generally speaking, do not permit you to put an exterior structure on your home site, even if it is in your backyard. Again, that can vary. Maybe you are out in a more rural place where the HOA is really kind of not involved very much. It's just, you know, a technicality, and maybe you can. But in most of the things that you see on my channel, the answer is no. They do not allow you to have any kind of an exterior structure. You also can't park your campers or boats and things like that, you know, kind of out on your property. So that being said, something that Florida does have is a lot of additional exterior storage units. We call them like the big boy toys, like for all those big campers and the boats and things like that. There are specific storage places just for those because the HOAs do not allow them. So, yes, sir?
Just speaking of, just you know.
He's producing. Okay. All right. Jay, did you finish Vatican Girl? That was a crazy story. Honestly, I didn't. Should I? Should I finish it? I have this thing where if I find myself watching the show and then picking up my phone and starting to respond to like other things, then I wonder if it's caught my attention. But if you tell me that it was good, I will go back and finish it because I didn't dislike it at all. I had just started it, and I wasn't as compelled to turn it back on. But if you think it was good, I will absolutely do it. Okay. Is it better to have gas or electric in Florida for oven or clothes dryer if you have a choice? Okay, so Shark Nerd. So here's the thing. So this is going to be, again, a personal preference. First of all, I mean, a personal preference as to whether it's better. Most communities do not have gas. There are some gas communities here for sure. They just are not as widespread as you might expect, especially for those that come from up north. That's what they're used to. And they're like, why do you not have gas? The main reason we don't have gas here is because we do not have to heat our homes. And that is one of the biggest benefits of having a gas community, but we don't heat our home. So that's not really serving much of a purpose. Therefore, it's really more for cooking, which some people love to cook on gas. Candidly, our former community was a gas community and my oven did not cook evenly. And so I was not a big fan of gas. Now, in answer to your question about the clothes dryer. So this I know for a fact, having sold lots of homes that were in gas communities. If you do purchase in a gas community, and again, if it's newer construction, let's just go with newer. Okay. When you build your home in a community that has gas as an option, or it is what you have. In the laundry room, you have a hookup for both. They provide you for your clothes dryer, the prong for electric, which is honestly what most people use. Even though we had a gas community, it's what we did. We just did the electric dryer. There is, however, the gas stub for if you wanted to do a gas dryer. However, you do have to make sure that the installation crew, that you have the proper gas people do that because of the nature of gas and the nature of how that has been capped off, so to speak. So, so you can do that. As far as, you know, which it's better, that's going to be a personal choice. I am happier to have electric, candidly, but that's me. But I know other people are like, oh no, I can't cook unless it's gas. Okay, that's fine. I didn't like the way my stuff turned out when I cooked with gas because it was lopsided and I had to turn everything around. But again, that's just me. So if you're used to it, I say be open-minded with it. But they do exist out there. Okay, and then this one, and then we're going to move on. Hi, Damon. What do you think of Trinity Lakes in Groveland? Thank you. So honestly, Trinity Lakes, that's interesting because I have a client that's out there. I think I was gonna say this weekend because I feel like I don't know what day it is. It is Monday though because we're here out there. I actually like it very much. I think it's a nice location. Groveland is definitely growing. There's a lot of shopping that is getting ready to come to Groveland. So it is, as we've said before, it kind of went. You know, Winter Garden is still kind of thriving. There's still a lot more coming here, but it's pricey. Claremont was kind of the next little wave. And then from Claremont, Mineola starts to kind of be, woo, you know, it's growing in Mineola, and now Groveland is kind of that next little spot. So I actually like Trinity Lakes very much. I think it's really lovely out there. Anytime I drive out to Groveland, there is a Landscape community called Preserve at Sunrise out there that I love it. It's just a really beautiful, calm, peaceful. And every time I drive out there, I love the calm drive. Okay, so all right. I think I got all of the questions. Oh, wait. Wait, Shark Nerd. Thanks, I meant price-wise. Okay, so back to your question then about electric and gas price-wise. I am sure that you still probably have a little bit better with gas, but I will have to tell you again, the people see the most benefit of gas when they're heating. Now, obviously, if we're air conditioning, that's completely different. So I don't know that you're going to see a significant price reduction in your bills because it's gas. I did not when we had a gas community because I still had, you know, it's still AC is still electric. So that did not help at all. So we had pretty significant power bills. Gas bill wasn't that much, but again, I don't see a difference personally. Anyway, okay, my friends. So let me come back here, and then we are going to wrap this up for today because it is 10:01. I've taken up way too much of your morning. You have a lot of things to do. You need to scooch out. You need to make your plans for Thanksgiving. I want to hear all about them next week. As always, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. If you hear my dogs barking, I apologize. It's because the Publix people are delivering our food. We're going to put together that basket for that family, for a neighbor who is sending that off through her church group to a needy family, so that we can be truly thankful for the season, for one another, and for the blessings that we have. And I definitely 100% consider all of you a blessing to our lives. By the way, it's 34 days till Christmas. Okay. So again, we thank you so much for watching. I know. We're leaving. All right, guys, I am going to wrap this up. So as always, please remember, stay safe, stay well. Guys, people are still getting sick. So please, I hope and pray that with our experience with COVID, that we all can get to the point of, you know what, if we're not feeling well, whether it's a cold or the sniffles, that maybe wearing a mask is okay, because it can protect ourselves, it can protect other people. But please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you, and happy house hunting. We will see you guys soon, and have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We love you. Bye.